the exercise group with Alex and Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you all are doing great. We are pumped up for another episode, man. 88. Isn't that pretty crazy, Alex?
You know what I was just thinking about, like the number we're having, because I think CT just had their C-Note episode. They had 100.
No, theirs is 98. They have two more.
Oh, all right, my bad.
Yeah. But no, I know what you're talking about because on the podcast thing it says 100, but then it says episode 98.
That's strange.
It's because they do a trailer. Anytime the podcast come out, they put a trailer out, which is one, and then they may have had one episode that they didn't actually put out.
All right.
Not like us.
Yeah, but the point is we're getting close to 100.
Yes. So,
but you know what I want to do, Jeff? We don't ever do this. We've never done it.
Okay.
But I want to do it now because today is the 21st of April. And for all y'all Purple Highnesses out there that be loving yourself, some royal badness himself, 5 years ago today, Prince passed away.
Yep.
So we can get down.
There we go.
This is one of the first songs that I really got into.
Yeah.
Prince, man, I tell you what.
All right, now you're going to have to stop it so we don't get cut off of YouTube, you know what I mean? All
right, so all y'all out there that are Prince fans, dropping some comments.
Yep.
What was a fun Prince moment for you? Because that is really nothing but just entertainment for me because I love it.
So like that date means something to me too, but different because 2012 I had my tournament was that weekend and one of my best friends passed away, Moose.
No.
So yeah, he was on his way to the tournament to help my tournament and help me work. He always worked security, all kind of stuff. And so I created an award and stuff every year towards people that just are friends who help friends, you know. And he didn't have to come and help in my tournament. He didn't have to do this or that, but he got killed by a drunk driver, and so his we always called him Moose. But so I always remember that day too. So we've always do that, not trying to bring it down, but it means something as well to me too. And people that have been to my tournament have always kind of seen where we give that award to someone who's been, people who just give back, and people that continue to just be friends. You know what I mean? Like he came and painted at my karate school. He came and helped. The first time I ever had like a ninja night at my karate school, he came and helped out. Like stuff like that. He didn't have anything to do with karate. He just wanted to help me get what my dream was going forward, which was really cool. So just big ups to him, to Moose and all of my friends who they do watch and needed to tell that. And I'm glad we all kind of just talked as well, because Prince is another person who changed a lot of people's lives, man. Oh yeah.
I mean, I grew up with the guy. Just my mom's went to high school with him.
Wow.
Central Minneapolis High School. The high school doesn't exist anymore. So my mom's went to high school with him. So it was like, that was just a thing. We'd do parties at Paisley Park, which was his mega master studio. Now it's a museum, but yeah.
Yeah. Trey, finding out.
Life.
Yeah.
The Batman soundtrack
the Batman soundtrack.
Legit.
Yeah. Awesome.
I know Mike Bates is all about it. He and I talk about Prince all the time.
Yeah. Prince was and is Minneapolis. Oh yeah.
Prince and the Juicy Lucy. This is great. That's a real
What's
thing.
up, Kyle? What's up, Mike? What's up, everybody? What's up, Trey? I'll see you this weekend. I'm going to be judging and on the board and helping out with Trey's 3rd degree black belt test this weekend in North Carolina. So I'm excited for that. Pretty cool. What's up, Jackson, Dee? Thank you guys for watching and joining. All right. So what do we do this weekend? I mean, this week was a busy week for action martial arts, which we heard a lot about. Action sport, whatever you want to call it, contact sports. We heard a lot about that on CTE. What did you do this weekend, Alex?
It was funny. So I had another wedding I did on that DJ'd on Sunday, but this one was funny, right? It was fun. I was like, I actually hope you asked me this because I was going to tell you this. I won't tell you everything that happened, but so it was half Filipino, which means it was all Filipino.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah.
So for all y'all Filipinos out there, you guys will know this is exactly what it is. You all know this wedding checked every single stereotype for Filipinos. So I'll go down the list. Number 1, they had mango themed desserts because it don't matter what it is. Like you're gonna have mango something. It was like, oh, this is fantastic. They had at least 2 b-boys out there just trying to break dance to everything. The funniest part, the whole group was doing the electric slide dance to like every song.
Every song. Wow.
And I never played the electric slide.
I love it.
They requested, I had to count. This is not an exaggeration. 15 different Bruno Mars songs, right? They loved them some Bruno Mars. Love it. Oh my gosh. And it was the coolest dude out there had a name. His name was Floxy. Okay. Floxy. Floxi. Dude's cool.
That's
I like
cool.
Floxy.
He has a cool name, so he started off cool. I mean,
dude, that was a fun one. Yeah.
Those are fun, man. Filipino events are great. I've done a lot of them through my time. So, oh man. But yeah, man, I had a busy weekend. So I did a podcast on Friday night. I did the podcast, KC Sports Talk, did another one myself and Mike Politi. We were hyping up and talking about a preview for a pay-per-view we did on Saturday. So there was a traditional form showcase pay-per-view created by a guy, Kyle, he's the guy who runs KC Sports Talk podcast. He's in Canada. And so he did a 4 matchup event, right? And so what it was he had, everything was a best 2 out of 3. So it was traditional style. So the first one was Caleb Boyle versus a kid, Angel, who's from Puerto Rico. Both of these guys are, really active right now. They went head to head against each other, best 2 out of 3. Then the second round was one kid from Quebec and one from Massachusetts, I think. And then the next one was 2 people from Canada, but like the complete opposite ends of Canada where they never see each other, right? So like we're talking about like, the Alberta area, Calgary area, the Western Canada area versus Ontario, which they never compete against each other. And then the final was the same thing, So it was a lot of fun. I was excited. The first thing I was a little worried because the first thing happened and, I see 2 Super Impe's. And then the next thing happened, I see 2 Chartanyara Kusan Kus. I'm like, oh, man, is this going to be the whole night? But
and it was.
No, it wasn't. No, there was a lot of difference in the forms, and it was really cool. I was pumped up for this because I think the concept's great, especially for these people in Canada right now. They have it really bad. They can't get out of their house. They're not even allowed to go train and do karate outside. So it's nuts right now over there, right? Andrew Cavalon, right? He's a DJ, right?
It doesn't surprise me. The dude's cool.
They're not allowed to stream their DJ stuff right now.
Stop. Time out. They can't do this. They can't just sit in front of their own screen.
No, because you may have a home party, a house party. Yeah. So it's a lot different there right now. Yeah.
Well, so then the question is, for something just ridiculous like that, like,
yeah,
what's the penalty for something like that?
I don't know. I don't even
know there
know,
is,
but yeah.
But
yeah, Kyle, awesome job, man. That was a great show. I loved it. We got to see like Shotokan forms that we hadn't seen in a long time versus, the Goju forms. And then even Wadu Kai versus Shotokan, lots of different stuff. It was cool. And even like my parents watched it and they were like, that was really good. It was a really good show. And I had fun commentating with Mike Politi. We had a good time and Kyle put on a great show. What's up, Richie Everidge? How you doing, man? So that was fun. So, I was really excited about doing the virtual forms tour, and we haven't really done anything like that since then. So this was a cool thing to kind of do again. This is my second time doing something like that with Kyle. So, and we're looking forward to doing. I think we're going to do another one in June. And that's going to be more weapons based. So look out for that, and I'll let everybody know about that as well as we go. But yeah, man. That and then Saturday went for a hike. Which was fun. And then, Sunday did a lot of homework and like housework and, stuff like that.
I want to know though, when you say you went on a hike, like, what does that mean? What did you do? So is it like a walk with rocks or did you like?
No, like a little bit. So this is like a falls, right? So this is different than normal. You start at the top and you go down all the way down. And then there's like a waterfall at the bottom, which was cool. You see it. So we went about
I could get down with that.
But it's like a mile and a half down. Then you go all the way back up to get back. So some people, that's harder. For me, I have a harder time going down. It's harder on my knees walking down than going up. Up, I feel fine. But some people, your legs are gassed. And by the time you walk up, you're like, so
it's hard one way. It's hard.
Yeah. It's either the other way. So yeah. Richie says he likes your glasses.
Dude, I don't. These aren't like real glasses, although I need real glasses. They're blue light glasses. I stare at screens all day.
Yeah.
So I need them.
I understand.
So
that's what I did. And man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. And I'm enjoying that, getting outside and stuff. I hope everybody else is too.
Feeling good. Okay, let's jump right into topics, man.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to talk about the sport karate team thing? What up, Jeremy?
Yep.
Let's do that, and then we'll go into all the stuff that happens.
There's some other ones I want to get into as well.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yep. So, all right, we've had guys. We would love again comment in there. What is maybe some of the favorite topics we've talked about the past 3 weeks? We've had some great discussions, right? And so for me, one of the biggest things I pointed out on all 3 episodes, and everyone agreed, was that the last three episodes. Well, probably all 88 episodes.
This is true.
That we need more sport karate teams, sport karate school teams in our sport, right? And we don't see that as much, Terry Floyd, he's a great example of someone who has a great sport karate team. And I'm looking forward to hearing some of the comments, Kyle as well. You can do it. So many people say that getting your school in sport karate is going to ruin your school. That's not true. It's how you do it though, right? And so everyone has different opinions and different ways of doing it. So let's engage, guys. Let's talk about that. What are some key points to creating a sport karate team or even a sport karate? I even think of it more instead of a sport karate team. I think it's a sport karate program in my school, right? Because I want to get them understanding that it's different. Because it is, to me, it's different than what regular class is. Because to me, what martial arts is, and when they join my program, they're joining something that's like a foundation in their life. It's more like a development program, right? To help themselves grow. Then the other part is, because our belt system has nothing to do with the sport, right?
Right.
And really doesn't.
Someone can make black belt tomorrow
and never do a tournament.
Compete against you.
Right. It's not the same. Yeah. So we gotta find ways to do this, but do it to where not only does it help your school grow and help you, grow your school and not go in debt, but also help the sport, also help the families, help the students, everyone. So yeah.
Well, I think you're right, Jeff. But I think kind of when you mentioned, you said some people say don't do that. So let's get in maybe before we start getting into the how. Let's get into the why.
Boom. Yep.
Let's get into the why. Like if this is a good thing, why is it a good thing? Yeah, you're right, Jim. Yeah, FSK, Grand Slam Martial Arts, absolutely. All right, great school that already did that. Well, so with the why. So, and I will touch on this just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people got a chance to listen. I'm not. It's nothing. It's not a plug, but it's going to be a plug. But it's just because he did a good job, and I appreciate the dude. Jackson did an interview that came out today, Black Belt Magazine, with Larry Carnahan, and there's some parts in there that I really liked, and there's some parts that I said, I don't know about that, and we'll talk about that later. But one of the things I like what Larry Carnahan said is he said, and you know what? I'm going to look at it because I had to jot it down because I liked what he said. He said, having high-level tournaments to compete in makes people better people.
Yeah.
So that's what we wanted to do for students. That's why we wanted to make the Diamond Nationals. And I said, that is an excellent explanation. All right. And I've heard that we had John Morley on the show, talked about that. And he was very transparent and said, we don't make a lot of money doing this stuff. All right. And they really don't. Like the people who are making a lot of money doing sport karate tournaments, there are not a lot of them. Nope. And the ones that are really turning a profit, it wasn't always that big. Right. A tournament that I do hope turns a big profit is our sponsor, which is the Virtual Fight Tour. We're going to get into the Virtual Fight Tour later. Virtual Fight Tour 8 is going to come out May 29th, I believe.
Yep.
So Jeff and I are going to get into some interesting ideas, some fights I think would be really cool to see for Virtual Fight Tour 8, but we'll get into that one a little bit later as well. So he just talked about a greater purpose for why in the world are we even doing this. So now let's get into how does it benefit you? Because you started to talk about that, Jeff. Like, well, what does that do for me? Because too often we do that. We say, well, what is that? How does that benefit me? And people are sometimes short-minded, but sometimes they just need that explained. So when they ask that question, like, what does that do for me? They might not actually know, right? So they do need an explanation.
Right. So it kind of goes along. Yeah, it goes along with Jim's question. He's like, do you think that having a team helps with student retention?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yes. So I think it does it in a different way. And so people think of it as, well, let's take all of our students to tournaments and just throw them in there. I think there needs to be a certain level, and you gotta pre-frame it for them to let them understand, right? That's the first thing. But I think if you treat your sport karate team as your leadership team and your team for them to look up to, and also that your sport karate team can also help not just run your classes, but the people that step up and help new students, that's where you're at. So you kind of combine the two. You combine leadership with the sport karate team. So that way they understand that they're doing something a little bit more, right? And I think that helps with retention,
I mean, I kind of agree with that and kind of don't at the same time. And I'm going to explain why. I'm a low maintenance kind of guy.
Right.
I don't like to do things and add things that require extra chores out of me. All right.
But it doesn't.
Well, I'm going to explain.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm going to create this school team that's now going to add 25 extra hours a week for me, I ain't going to do it.
Right. But
my home life is very important to me.
Exactly. No, I get that. Yeah.
So I ain't going to do that.
So really, but how does it add 25 extra hours to your life? It doesn't.
It will do that if you let it.
Exactly. Right? If you let it. So for me, I created it as a class, a program in my school. Okay. So I have a sport karate program that's an extra. It's like an upgrade, right? So it's really right now it's 1 day a week, but then they have to do at least one private lesson a week. Because if you want to be a sport karate team player, you're trying to be better, right? So, and especially if you are someone in our school, you're probably going to do seven different forms and then 3 different styles of fighting. So, so I got to teach you 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 or something, closer to make it better, right? And you just have to understand that this is the next step for you to get better.
So
exactly, Jim.
I personally wouldn't do that.
Right.
What is that?
Yeah, it clicked up too bad. But here we go. All right. I've always thought sport karate is huge for retention after Black Belt 2. Many schools don't have a diverse enough curriculum after Black Belt to keep students engaged. Sport karate presents a new journey, new techniques, and much loftier goals for your students. As the old saying goes, the Black Belt isn't an journey, it's just the beginning. We're getting a lot.
Lauren, when Lauren was on, Lauren said that exactly.
Yep.
She actually expanded on that as much.
Yeah. See what this is what D says as well. For me, honestly, it's what I enjoy. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. It's fun. It's part of the schedule. Yes, like an upgrade. It doesn't have to kill you. And see, for me, I love the private lessons. So once my school grows and I get my staff going in the right way it needs to be, again, after COVID, I had it like that. But then when COVID kind of hit, things kind of went a little different. I went back into old school Jeff Doss mode. But yeah, but it makes it to where I'll do just the private lessons in the sport karate class and the advanced classes, and I have other people running the other stuff, which is how you grow your business. You can't just be running every class. But Terry says this. Let's see what Terry says. All right, I definitely add hours to your work schedule. I have 65 students competing next month in turn. Yeah. I mean,
you get it.
So again, if you do that and like the way I'm doing with 65 people doing private lessons, that's a lot. But you also have a team that helps out with it as well, right?
Here's another way. There's another way because, like we said, there's a lot of ways to do this, and that's why we really appreciate this, guys. We really appreciate the feedback because we do understand there's a lot of ways to do this, and we're not all doing it perfect. There ain't no perfect way. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow there's another day after that. So everything's going to be changing, ever changing. I really didn't do any of that. And this is selfishly. I looked at where I was personally in my own martial arts goal towards my last tenure of really, really doing this at that level. And I said, man, the high level forms game has passed me.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging I can look at it, judge it. I'm right there. Physically, it has passed me by. So what I did is I started outsourcing. And I said, listen, I know, man, your forms are about it. All right. So you need
kind of like what we talked about a few weeks ago.
You need this. You need to outsource a little bit.
Yeah.
And I would tell people that because we're not that far away from Mike Welch's school. We're like 2.5 to 2 hours away.
Right.
So I was like, listen, this is the guy. If you really want to go to that level, you need to go see Mike. All right. So then, ironically, he hit me up on my honeymoon, and he was like, "Hey, you got to talk to this girl. I got this girl. She's fighting. She was rated number 1 in her division. I want her to go to the next level. Her name's Noelle Jellison."
Yep.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah, all right, cool." So. And then we started getting together with that too. So we were literally doing the opposite.
Yep.
All right. So we would do things like that. Then we went up to his school sometimes as well. So that's an example. But the way we did it in our program it was simpler for me. It was a lot less labor intensive. You were decent at fighting. You just entered the freaking tournament.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to worry about a team because the team was who's at the tournament. So we would just kind of coordinate like, hey, y'all going to, the Windy City Challenge, Dwan Brown's tournament. That was a good tournament. Dwan, I hope you're listening. I hope you put on that tournament again once we're allowed.
Man. Yeah, man.
All right. And like, yeah, all right, who's all going? And I'll just connect everybody who's going. And now you walk in with 25 people and there you go. Now, when we did tournaments like the Diamond Nationals, we would do the same thing, only it was 150 of us.
Right.
And they say, well, damn, how did you get 150 people to go? Well, I'm not focused on the high-level black belt class. That's not where my focus is. Because if your focus is there, you're only going to have a maximum of 20 people that you really have a pool to go from. You focus on your intermediates because the beginners will come as long as you don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? They'll come. You focus on the intermediates. They fall in love with martial arts. Every single dang guest we had on who was a high level, they said they started, us included, right, Jeff?
Yep.
We saw competition at that level and said, this is it. I got to stay here.
Exactly.
So if you're in a town, this is it. Y'all want student retention because we talked about this. Whatever is the highest level national tournament, regardless of sanctioning body, as long as they don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Take your students to at least watch that tournament.
Right.
Once they see what high-level competition can really be like, that should be student retention all in its own.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think it does help for them to go and watch. You know what I mean? For me, I know I'm a little different. It's like you don't know until you experience it.
This is true.
But it is good for them to watch. My problem is that we don't have too many tournaments in our area, right? So when we have one in our area, they're like, well, can we just go watch? Yeah, but I don't know when you're going to get to do another one again unless you want to travel far away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I don't want to.
That's a good point.
So it's like, hey, yes, but I don't know when you're going to get to see another one. So I would say go in and just try it. Just do forums. You don't have to go and do fighting if you don't want to. Just do something and just participate. You're going to learn no matter what that way. So, and I think it just depends on your area. Like right now, yeah, I think it's fine for people in Florida to go and watch the first tournament, then go the next month and see and do the next one because they have them all the time. Same thing. I mean, it's like that. Virginia's not that many in even before COVID, right? So it's a little different. It depends on where you're at. But yeah, man, I mean, I think it's really important with the sport karate schools. I mean, I've been to where I had 20 in my sport karate program and then I had other people competing, that were outside of it. They were just doing private lessons. But, and now I'm at like 6, but they're a good 6 that are, and so it's just a part-time type thing. It's not something that I put all my time into. But it's, and I'm building up everyone else. I'm building the next people to come up to that. So within a month or two, when tournament times come, I'll have maybe another 20 back in that, because we're back into it. It was hard with the virtual tournaments. They just didn't really get into that,
Maybe it's almost good that they didn't.
Yeah.
But Jeff, I got a different question because I don't really know the answer to this one. What was your very first tournament? And what was that experience like?
So
I can't remember if you mentioned this.
I probably have. I talk about it a lot because it changed me. It was the reason why I'm still in this for 34 years, I guess I've been in karate. 33 years I've been in karate. So my first tournament was, this is before NASCA and NBL. It was called PKL. PKL was the big circuit, Professional Karate League.
Yep.
And there was a tournament in Greensboro, North Carolina, a big tournament. And it just came back about a few years ago called the Alamance Open. And
that was the tournament you went to for the
That
first
was the
time.
tournament I went to. And I was only in karate for maybe 5 months. And I went to the tournament.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I went to the tournament. And back then, I was 4. And back then it was just 7 and under. So I was down here, right?
What year is this?
88. Yeah, 88.
Okay.
No, 89, sorry, 89. And so I was, already, people know I'm not a very tall person. So imagine, how much smaller I was to everyone there. And I don't know if I even did forms back then. I think it was just, I don't remember too much of the competition except looking up like this at everyone next to me. I remember that tons, right? And I lost my first fight or whatever. But the best thing was that my mom took me to the finals. Most people don't do this, right? Best thing ever was that my mom took me to the finals. And that way, because here's the deal. You can watch other people while you're competing, but you're still focused on you competing, right? And you're a little stressed out and you're worried about that during the day. But if you go to the finals, especially a big tournament, you can sit and be a spectator and just watch and really see what you can do. And so I watched Seneca Luther, John Valera just be awesome, and it was cool to find out Seneca Luther was from the same town as me, like 15 minutes from me. John Valera was an hour away from me. And then there was also this team from Virginia as well, Shanghai, and they did this cool self-defense demo. It freaked me out because I was 4, and it was based on Nightmare on Elm Street. What? Yeah, it had Freddy Krueger and everything, and they were getting attacked by Freddy. I'll never forget it. And it's weird to me because
I didn't go to sleep that night.
Yeah, I thought that maybe I was just dreaming this or imagining this or something, like getting scared of, or something.
Because it was Freddy Krueger.
Because it was so crazy. But no, it was real. It was because I used to watch that Karate Rock tape as well, right? And they had some cool self-defense demos. But yeah, man, and that really made a difference for me. So I think do that, like when you go as a parent, don't just think of it as get in and get out and leave. Take them to the high level ring and watch that. Take them somewhere to watch that. That's why my big worry about this COVID thing is that we session everything off so much to where those kids don't get to experience or to get to see the higher level people, to where okay, all beginners are going to be at 9 to 11. Okay, that's great for scheduling wise, but who do they get to see and experience? What did they really experience by going to that tournament? Not much. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. I can see pluses to that though as well.
Yes, but I want
to touch on what you said
before. The sessions there, Alex. But you can put something else going on at that same time that they can experience and watch too.
Well, this is true. This is a good point. Yes, yeah. I agree with that point. So I want to mention something you touched on. So you said a couple of things. Number one, oh yeah, for sure I lost my first fight. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said, oh, and we went to the finals. So there was a guy, most people won't know who he is. His name is Greg Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
He's a national karate high-ranking black belt in Minnesota. He was a fantastic fighter in his day. Actually, he fought in the Diamond Nationals. This is the first time I've ever seen this. It was a 0-0 fight with he and Tony Young.
Yeah.
I think it was the year Tony won the ring.
Okay.
0-0. In regulation, Tony wins 1-0. Like the very next exchange, Tony wins like that. Like, dang. And you probably try and say, yeah, you only got me by 1.
Well,
I won.
Well, yeah.
But anyway. So it was a great competitor in his day. And he changed the way I looked at tournaments to a certain degree. And he said, because we had schools, Minnesota, obviously we sold tickets to the finals for the Diamond Nationals. And because we had lots of schools, there was obviously a lot of pool of people who we would pull from to go to get those seats. Why wouldn't they want to do that?
Right.
So he said, well, Alex, how many seats did you sell? I said, I didn't really push many people to do it. I didn't really bother with it. And he said, why would you do that to those people? I said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, Alex, you're going to the finals, aren't you? I said, well, yeah, I would never miss it. And he said, well, right, because don't you love it? I said, yeah, and I'll literally never miss it. And he said, so if you don't show them that, you're robbing them of that experience.
Exactly.
He said, I guarantee you, Alex, anybody who goes and sees that show of martial arts that we are a part of, they're going to sign up for a black belt that very next week.
Yep.
If they haven't already, they're going to sign up to do that the very next week. And I said, man, damn, you freaking right. So you make one from a business standpoint. Yes, you're right on. Why was I not thinking that?
Yep.
And then I realized I was kind of selfish on my end. I was looking at it as a sales perspective, which I wasn't good at that point in my life. Right. And I'm like, no, it's not about that. We're a people building business anyway. What the heck is wrong with me?
Right.
Of course I should. So I do agree to a certain degree. Yeah, just send them the heck out there.
Yep.
All right.
Send them
if
out
they can
there.
fight and they're somewhat competent, that's why we have levels to this thing.
Right.
As long as what you're doing in your school is what we're doing in the tournament,
right.
Send them to go.
Yep.
Go.
Yep. Amen. Yeah.
It's not your job to make sure that they place well on their first few tournaments. I took nothing
but
last place my first year of doing martial arts.
Exactly.
And I did like every tournament that we knew of.
Yeah.
Right. And then it was like an immediate 180 after that. Like bang. I didn't know what a trophy was. Right. I'd never seen one before.
I don't know if you remember. Fun story. My first Battle of Atlanta was 1990. I was an orange belt. So I went all the way to Battle of Atlanta as an orange belt. And I got 7th place in forms. And I got 3rd place in fighting. so
Jeff Doss.
Yeah, man, was killing it back then. Cool. And then what's funny is that I didn't place any higher than that until I was a black belt, I think. And I went every year. And the other years that I was an advanced belt, I think I maybe got, or even intermediate, was getting finalists. I mean, maybe. It was just so big. And you know what? Like I had to go through those. So,
okay. Yeah. So what are we getting to? So
here's the deal. As far as getting a school started, like a sport karate program started, think about what your goal is with it. Why are you doing it? Right. So know that. Right. Think about what type of team you want to have. What's your goals of that? What do you really want them to represent? Right. What do you want them to get out of it? And then start building how much time you can put into it per week. I think that's really it. If you have a school, like you got to realize you can't just be like, here, this is it. And, oh God, I don't even know what I'm getting into. And then you realize that it's harder work than you think. Just realize how much work you want to put into it. If you just want to be an extra 1 or 2 days a week, okay, then just create it as that and do it. And then get some tournaments on your schedule and go for it. And then learn along the way. Don't overplan it because then you'll never do it. Get out there and experience it and then evolve and learn as you go. I think that's the simple way.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got different things. Myself, Corky Sykes, Mike Welch, we are completely different than most other martial arts schools. We do everything, right? So it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but with other people, with other schools, hey, this is what our focus is going to be. Point fighting and traditional forms, or point fighting and weapons, and pick out people and give them invites, actually invite them to the class. That's one thing that like Hyper does a good job with, is that they have actual printed invitations and things like that, and it says, here, you are invited to join our team. You're invited to do that. Yeah. So, Terry, great. Yeah. I love getting my students pumped up about tournaments because they want to train so much more and so much harder. Exactly.
In your schools, we should really have at least one thing every month that you should be getting them pumped up about.
Exactly.
The great thing about the tournament is if it's, let's just say the Battle of Atlanta, because we've talked about it a couple of times already in this show. If it's the Battle of Atlanta that's happening next month and they go to the Battle of Atlanta will be pumping them up for the rest of the year without you.
Right.
So even if you were just looking at this from a selfish end standpoint, it's still the right thing to do.
Yep.
Even if you're just selfish, it's still the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
great point.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So we're talking about these, bigger tournaments. What's a tournament that you know of that you knew, hey, if you sent your people to, could be a small tournament, maybe it's a local tournament, maybe it's one that's not even anywhere nearby, that you knew you could just send people there and you didn't even have to be there. You just knew, man, I know this thing's going to go great. I know they're going to have a positive experience. They could lose everybody and they're still going to enjoy themselves and have a great time. What is that?
That's a hard one.
Really?
I think as an instructor, it makes it, it's a little tough once you get into it. I mean, I think you just feel like, hey, I need to be there to make sure everything goes right. But for me, there were tournaments that I did just send. So I sent people, and maybe I would be there, but I would not be around them that often. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
But then if I wasn't there, I would still say, hey, you need to go. So Corky Sykes tournament, Survivor was one of those. I sent people without me going to Bryant Penna's tournament years ago. And let's see, what was the other one? Dixieland was one years ago that I did. I would send people there if I wasn't, because I just knew that they were going to run well. Those are in the Southeast. Those are, ones that at least were the same rules that we were used to in our area. You know what I mean? If I'm sending someone to a NASCA tournament, they're not used to those rules that much. So I'm not going to send them there by themselves because that's not really that fair, So I want to go with them, So
that's a great point. And that's kind of what I might have mentioned. As long as what we're doing in the school is what they're going to do at that event.
Correct.
And that exists from a lower level all the way up to your highest level in your in your school.
Yep.
So that's an interesting one. So I had a few of them that I was thinking of. I mentioned his name a couple times on the show before, but I got a buddy of mine, Jeff Christensen, in Verona, Wisconsin.
That tournament.
You know what, Mike, at the same point, even though we talk about Mike Welch too, Mike's got a great tournament too.
Yeah, that was one too that I would send them to because I know it's going to run well and they're going to be happy and have a good time. So
it's just that group of people in Wisconsin. They're a tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And they do things the right way. And I know I could send 3 people or 33 or 133.
Yep.
And they're going to leave having a great time,
Yep.
But it kind of depends. Like when I mentioned, I send 150 people to the Diamond Nationals. There was some bumps in there a few years. It was like, what is this? And the biggest thing that happened over the last few years was this AAA thing. The black belt.
Oh yeah, jeez.
You ain't lying.
No,
right?
That changes a lot.
Everything.
First, it's confusing.
Duh.
Super confusing.
Nobody knows what it is.
No.
Can we get rid of
which is which? I mean, it's and then when they try to say not NASCA, non-NASCA, the problem is that people, oh well, yeah, I'm not a NASCA member, so I can't compete with the NASCA people. So either way, it's confusing and it makes it, well, what's the point of going to a big tournament without going against all those people, right? Getting the full experience. So
here's an example of how kind of screwy it got. So one year, speaking of that tournament, I love the Diamonds.
Yeah.
So one year there was they have the A division. It was just all right, not a lot of people are going to enter this. And then there's the AA, which is really just a normal black belt division, right?
Right.
So there was 3 people in the 18 to 29 light heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Chance Turner, and Raymond Daniels. Okay? Do you know how many people were in the single A division?
10.
28.
Holy crap.
And do you know why? Their justification was that we have a better chance of placing if we do single A.
Wow.
Because someone fed them a bunch of lies that you're not good. Maybe they weren't good. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all you had to do was just stand there and you would have placed.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do. You know,
you didn't experience competing against those people. Like, man, see, and I kind of think a double A and a single A shouldn't happen in adult black belt. Like, it shouldn't happen, right? I mean, maybe junior black belt is the only place I feel like it makes any sense. But even then, I mean, you know,
people try to justify it when they try to coddle people.
No,
and a lot of time, I do get it to some degree.
Yeah.
But if you're not preparing them for like, hey, this is the goal. This is what we do. Because that's the thing. Let's just be honest, guys. This is what we do.
Yep.
We do hard things. That was the point of us doing this.
This is the point of doing martial arts anyway.
Do hard shit.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Right.
All right, man.
All right, so let's go on. We had a good discussion about this. I think we've gotten some good feedback. Thank you guys so much. Kyle says, I think the biggest deal is that if you are still hungry to compete, it resonates more to your students. That helps a lot. It helps me a lot. We use tournaments to push our students for something outside their belt rank. Exactly. They feel like they have a huge obstacle in front of them, and they don't want to disappoint anyone. Hey,
I want to get together with Terry sometime.
Yeah, man. He's got a good one. So let's talk about, let's see, what was the next thing you want to talk about? We got about 15 minutes left.
There's a lot of stuff.
I know.
So I want to mention that Larry Carnahan interview, but I would be remiss if we didn't just quickly touch on Raymond's last fight.
Yeah, Raymond's last fight.
I won't get into it too deep because
no, but dude, he looked awesome, man. He showed the well-roundedness and the growth of his MMA game. He was taking people down, which was cool. He was going like the side. I mean, he was passing guard. He was doing all kinds of stuff.
I'll tell you what, if they wanted to be like, all right, this guy had a shot to beat Ray, let's give him another shot.
Yeah.
No. It didn't matter whether, let's say they called that a no contest, the first fight, because this is a rematch, so that's cool. Yeah. Right? Let's say Ray was getting whooped, right? Ray was getting destroyed. And then he accidentally caught him low. They call it a no contest. I feel like this was going to happen anyway. You don't give a guy like that with that kind of just ability to just break everything down and adjust like that a second chance at you. No, man, you got to take him out. You got to take him out when you got the chance. There's no way. I feel like this was going to happen. This is totally going to happen. Yeah. Right. Because it's so hard. Because unless you're in that type of game, like what he does, or you're used to it, you're only gonna game plan for like 2-3 things. You're gonna game plan that he's gonna try and spin kick me, which he basically wasn't, and still hit him twice. Right. So
dude, those knees were.
And he's gonna run around the ring. What are you gonna do about it?
Right.
It doesn't look like he did a whole lot about it. And I'm gonna get him down. Well, if I get him down to the ground, okay.
Yeah, that
worked out great.
Yeah, dude, he looked so good. The fight probably should have stopped, in the first round, but it is what it is. So, I mean, again, Carlos and Chris had a good breakdown of it on CTE as well. Great fight.
It was a great breakdown. So go watch CTE.
Not this week. Not this week. I guess it's next week. Is Colby's fight. So make sure we go. That's not going to be on the main card on TNT. It's going to be on Bleacher Report. So make sure you guys go watch that Bleacher Report live at 8:30. She's going to be the first fight on that live stream card.
So you know what's interesting about that is that's going to be on the 30th.
Yeah.
That's a day after Raymond's birthday.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because that is the day April 29th, that's the day I started martial arts.
That's right. I remember us talking about this before.
So I'm like, I sent him a text every year and it's like, hey man, I can't, even if it had nothing to do with you, it wasn't like I was ever going to forget. So yeah. I just find it really interesting that like, this is the day I started something that was meaning so much to me. And it just happens to be on your birthday. I will say happy birthday to you.
And see, that card is different now because Sage is supposed to fight Shinya Aoki on that same one, and he's out of that. I guess he had to pull out. He had an injury or something.
I think I saw something about that. Was it a hamstring?
I'm not sure what it was, but it makes sense.
Sprained something or something.
Yeah. So I was really looking forward to that fight, dude. Shinya Aoki is a legend. So that would have been great. Hopefully they'll be able to get that fight soon after that. And that would have been like one of the first times that there was siblings fighting on the same card in MMA, which, was a big deal. They're trying to get that. So make sure you guys check that out.
Speaking of legend.
Yep.
I want to talk about
Go.
this interview that Larry Carnahan did, because there's something he talked about on there that I'm like, Jeff, we got to talk about this.
Okay.
He talked about something that I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely. Do this. A NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So it does a few things. If that's a real thing, which he said, it's not like it's going to happen. Like, no, he said, this is happening, right? What that does is a number of things. One, it's like, your sanctioning body of tournaments. It's kind of like any sports team. You're like any, your NFL Hall of Fame, your Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right.
There actually isn't an NBA Hall of Fame. There isn't. There's
no,
a
it's
basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's okay.
Right.
So the good thing about that is if you're the Arizona Cardinals and you just decide like, that's it, we just fold, we're done. Well, it's fine. You still got the Hall of Fame, Yeah. Teams can come and go, but it's about the sanctioning body, right? It's the same thing for NASCAR. The other thing that's great about that is now we don't have to have the awards in the middle of the finals anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, that right there could cut down 35 to 45 minutes.
True.
Right? Well, people should be happy about that alone.
And maybe when this goes, like, it'll become kind of, again, I'm going to bring it back to wrestling, but WWE has a Hall of Fame, right? And they have people that are in it that were never even wrestled in the WWE, because it's become where the WWE is like the top tier of the sport, And so they want to talk about who has really contributed to the industry. So that's kind of where it eventually went. So if NASCAR continues to be that one, at least for the U.S., right? At least for the U.S. or North America, that they've kind of become that, they can also highlight people that maybe influenced it or did something in other areas that maybe led on to something else, right? You know what I mean?
You got to toe that line. See, I agree with you.
Oh, I know. But I mean, I'm saying it'll take some time.
You got to toe that line really close, and I'm going to explain why. Look at most of NASCAR Hall of Fames. Just look at the past number of years that they have them, right? It doesn't matter the tournament. You're going to see a Dennis Brown. You're going to see a Muhammad Jahan Bosch. You're going to see a Charlie Lane. You're going to see, and then you go, well, what do all these guys have in common? They're the promoters in the same sanctioning body.
Well, then that makes sense.
And that's actually what Larry talked about. He said, I think we're going to even have an officials Hall of Fame. Well, those are also your officials.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should do that, by the way. All right.
Because
now what you've done is now you've just said, hey, so we're going to have this Hall of Fame. Everybody, we're going to do this. Well, let's just put ourselves in the Hall of Fame and pat each other on the back.
Yeah.
What is that then?
No. We shouldn't do that. No. I think, again, they'd have to pick a certain amount. It can't be like these ones that we go to where 40, 50 people get in the Hall of Fame. You can't do that. No, it needs to be.
I like about him. He said,
needs to be 8 people. Yeah. So
I think that's good.
You can have one legacy style promoter. You know what I mean? That has done a lot. That's kind of on his way out and given his term to someone else or something like that. There's ways to do it. But again, all right. What else do we got? We had.
Wait a second now. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Real quick. I got a little girl who just decided to get out of bed. You're supposed to be sleeping right now, aren't you? Hey, are you supposed to be sleeping?
Why aren't you sleeping, girl?
Yeah. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. You're already up.
She only sees me, so she's like, everybody. Right. It's just Jeff. Like, what's going on?
All right. Okay, give me a hug.
Or Jess.
Good night, Daddy.
All right, give me a kiss. All right. Now go to bed.
That was great. Now we got everyone needs to put the hearts now, instead of the thumbs up,
that'd be cool.
To the hearts. Oh, man. So this has been fun. All right. We had a lot going on this weekend. Congrats to all the winners. But I think we need to finish off talking about Virtual Fight Tour. And they had 2 big news this week. Avery Plowden is going to be joining the Virtual Fight Tour. So I'm excited about that. Who Who do we want to see him versus? Well, we know Cam, so that's one. Everyone knows that one.
See, I'm going.
I'm just saying, like those are. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the one person we want to see. Let's name fights that we want to see. Who else?
So those ones are great. Like immediately, I'm like, dude, I want to see him fight Tomas again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you want the great, because those ones is just going to be like, is it going to be great? He and Tomas have had just battles. I'll never forget the one Diamonds where he and Tomas, they literally just took turns just punching at each other simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, those are just clashes. And every single one of those points went Tomas.
Wow.
Tomas. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen
yeah.
something this one-sided before. So that's why, whatever, he got the win in the next year and got the ring, et cetera. However, I actually feel like a fight like Richie Verez would be fantastic.
Versus Ant? I mean, sorry, not Ant. Sorry, I saw Ant here. Avery versus Avery?
Yeah. I think a really good, talented lightweight. Maybe not exactly Richie Verez. Get a good...
But a talented lightweight would be cool to see against... Yeah.
And the reason I said Richie Verez is, and this is a younger Avery, when they fought each other in the finals at the U.S. Open, I remember watching that fight.
Yeah, I remember that too.
You know, like, there's so many takeaways. Like, if you just wanted to play that fight just for training purposes, as they're like, hey, do this in your school, that would be great.
Yep.
Jackson's right. Avery versus Ant.
Probably realistic. Yep.
That's realistic. But Ant said, leave me the heck alone.
Yeah.
Of course, Kyle, everybody wants to see Avery and Cam.
I want to see Avery and Jack. So.
You know what might actually be more fireworks? Avery and Tyreek. What about
We don't
Bailey?
see it very often. Bailey and Avery needs to happen again. Yep. So I think they fought an open weight before, but yeah, I mean a 3-round fight. That's
right.
I mean, there's so many options with it, so I think it would be great. Maybe we'll see some type of team type thing, the 2-on-2 thing, because we need to see more of that. I think there's so many fights, but there's people. I mean, even dude. I mean. We have let's go into the next fight. Brandon is someone who is really picking it up, right? They did that one on the first one, Kyle. The first VFT was Bailey versus Tyreek. And we got caught out.
Probably justified. But we admitted, we didn't really have a reason. We were just like,
I'm just messing. It was fun.
Maybe.
But, we got to keep giving that respect, right?
Give him that respect.
What are we talking about? Oh,
Brandon and Brian.
Yes, Brandon and Brian is coming up. Is that going to be on the May pay-per-view? Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We're talking about Brandon, who is probably one of the most on fire fighters right now, besides Bailey, and active and just wants it. This guy is on a tear. This guy has intensity, focus, determination. I love it. And then we haven't seen Brian fight in over a year. This weekend, I think it was the first time he has fought.
Yeah.
And he lost to Christian, which good job. Congrats, Christian, for winning that tournament. And that overall, that was a big win, a big tournament for you. So good job.
I was watching that.
So Brian versus Brandon, this is I think this is a great one because it's a great one for Brandon to prove himself. It's a great one for Brian to get back into it.
I gotta tell you, like, guys, don't hate me again, but whatever. I think Brandon was winning this.
Yeah, Brandon.
I know the Venezuelans are gonna think I got a thing against him. I really don't.
Yeah,
right.
I think Brandon is too. He's active. He wants it. He's ready.
It's more of that. It's like that Janet Jackson song. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? Because Brandon has lost fights in the virtual system the last 2 years. We've been doing this thing almost.
Right.
So
a year, not 2 years.
Who have they been doing? Who's beat him?
Right.
I think Jack beat him. Jack beat him in the pro point, right?
Yep. Ryan beat him. Ryan George.
Okay.
And who's the other one that he lost to? I don't remember, but I mean, yeah, I mean,
so
I think he lost to. Sorry, he lost to Cam at North Georgia Open. So yeah, I mean, high level level people, you know. So
I just think when Brian went from team legend, not everybody knew a lot about him. Like there was like the real ones, right? The real ones knew who he was because they watched him. Like they knew what he could do. I'm like, all right, let's see what he does against Zolt. And he beat Zolt. I was like, all right, let's see what he does next. And then he goes on Bring It. And then he ends up on the Hayabusa Experience. He won like an overall on the Hayabusa Experience. I mean, it was a small tournament overall. I think it was Pan Am's, you know, but he won an ASCO overall. No, I think he won Dixieland or what? Not Dixieland. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, I know he won that one or two times. He's won some other ones before, but yeah, I mean, and he was always in the finals, you know.
He would make it there, but then over the last like few years,
right,
he didn't make finals.
Right,
he didn't win his division. A lot of people were getting past him.
Yep,
and it's like an extended period. So, yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, prove us wrong, right? That's the
prove
thing.
Me wrong, you know? But right now, I'm gonna just say it right now. I don't see how.
Hey, yeah, he's won Pan Ams. He has. Yeah, Brown's won Pan Ams. Yeah,
for sure.
I know that. Yeah. I tell you one thing. He has a great highlight from this past weekend. That kick that he landed on Jermad. That was nice looking at.
They were hating on Jermad. CT, they were hating on Jermad. It's like, why would you do that? I knew exactly why Jermad
what he was trying to do. Yeah.
Jermad was moving him. Jermad wasn't necessarily. The reason he threw that was to back Brian up. All right. Brian is decently skilled. No, Brian is very skilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, if Jermad just said, I'm picking up my leg and not going to let Brian outkick me at all, I think he'd have beat him by 4, 5, you know, because as long as he had his spacing correct, because I just feel like that was something that Brian had very, very well. And then as he got himself more well-rounded, that started to go down a level, right? So now he's more efficient, but his leg isn't as great. So if he fights someone like a Ryan George or even a Kevin Walker right now, you ain't out kicking them, right? So now what are you going to do? You're going to wait. Yeah. Now he does a great job on capitalizing on when other people makes mistakes, right?
Yeah. Hey, another cool highlight I saw was the front kick from Daryl Carter. Did you see that?
I missed this. You told me about this. I didn't see this.
I need to send that to you, man. And the way it goes is he does this front kick from the back leg, and the guy's in the air that he's doing. He's on from velocity, and he front kicks him, and he goes off the screen. So it almost looks like he went off the stage, which he didn't, I don't think, but it looks like it. It's pretty legit. Yeah, I have to send you that. So great job to Jeremy Murphy. Great tournament this weekend. Let's see, they had theirs. Chance had a great event this weekend. Great job. The guys in Tennessee had a great one. The pay-per-view event that I was a part of, the showcase. So much great stuff. Man, just, sport karate's moving. We're getting things going, man. So
before we go,
yep,
I'm going to do my competitor of the week.
All right.
I'm changing it. I'm changing how it is.
Okay.
Now I'm going to call it my competitor of the week, and I'm calling it my real ones of the week. It's my real one of the week. And I'm going to say it like this because I'm going to own what I do and say. All right. I love that fight between Kevin and Tomas, that throwback from 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago at the Irish Open. It was good. And I commented, and I said right away, Tomas is a very accomplished fighter, and his kicks look great, right? No, because you ain't never seen him do two, right? And I don't really respect his game,
right,
at all, not because of his game. I'm gonna say this: he's a fake tough guy. He's a fake tough guy, because He bumps in, and everybody chime in. Somebody comment. Hit me up. I'm easy to find. All right. He always wants to chest bump with someone, but I bet you ain't never seen him swing his fist. Right. I bet you ain't never seen him raise his hand. A guy who always wants to get in someone's face. He's always the initiate. He always wants to get in someone's face. You've never seen him pick his hand up.
Then nothing happens.
Isn't that interesting? That. Guy who always wants to have a beef with someone, never picks his hand up. You know why? Because he's protected. He goes from one protected team, Corrali, to another protected team, JPM. There's going to be 4 or 5 people jumping in the middle. He ain't never going to do nothing. He's a fake tough guy. So I'm going with a real one. My real one of the week, all right? Probably never see this. Some might not say him. Samuel Diaz, all right?
Yeah.
Samuel Diaz is a real one, right?
He is.
That one, Angel's bigger brother. So probably never thought it would come across that way. Angel's bigger brother, right? Really, Angel is Samuel's younger brother. That's the way we would acknowledge him, right? Dude, Samuel Diaz, he's a real one. I had conversations with him about a different fighter. I'm not going to say this guy's name because I actually like this guy, right? And Sam, he said, watching him makes my blood boil because he refuses. He always turns away from contact. He doesn't turn into it and want to hit someone.
Right.
And if you fight Sam, you're going to at least understand that there was physical contact happening. And you happen to be a part of it. All right. Exactly. And we got into conversations, man. I hang out with that guy anytime. Part of the things I miss most about tournament is hanging out with real ones. Yep. So my real one of the week, Samuel Diaz, my brother.
I like it. Cool, man. I love it. All right. Well, we had a great one this week, man. We had a great episode. Thank you guys for joining in with us. Who knows what we're going to have next week? I don't want to go too long next week because I want to watch. Well, actually, we'll watch the Colby fight before. So,
right. We'll be able to do it and come on like right after.
Yeah, come on right after and talk about. We'll be the first ones to talk about it. So, yeah.
Wait a second. No, short fight's on the 30th, right?
Yeah, isn't that next week? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the end of next week. That's a Friday.
All their stuff is on Wednesdays, but okay, I'll check again.
Maybe I'm wrong, but the 30th is a Friday.
But
someone fact check me.
I don't think it's the 30th then, but we'll check it.
I can
we'll get it. Anyways, so but I know that's when they're playing all their stuff on TNT. Wednesday night.
This is true.
Yeah, because right now they're live right now. Yeah, because they're live right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the one championship. They come on every Wednesday night right after Dynamite, which is the pro wrestling show I watch. So
we can do it at the same time. We can live commentary.
Yeah. So yeah. Who knows? We're going to talk about that next week if that works out, and then we may have a guest. Who knows? I think. Are you guys enjoying these forums we're doing? I mean, I think we've been having lots of fun. They've been
some of the best shows. I tell you what.
I want to get another. We talked about the Sport Karate team. Maybe we get one with some people who have Sport Karate schools, like a Terry Floyd on here, like Corky Sykes, like some different ones that have Sport Karate teams, and like a Mike Tobin from Utah that's done it for years.
Yep.
Maybe even some other ones.
How about Jesse?
Who?
Jesse Ray.
Yeah, Jesse Ray. Yeah, Jesse Ray. Have him on. I thought you said Jazzy. I'm like, who is Jazzy? I don't know a Jazzy. So,
no.
That. And then I also want to talk with, we're going to have some sport karate coaches, like team coaches, like sponsored team coaches on here and do that, and some more promoters. So we're really just going to discuss things and really move the sport forward, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think Jesse would be great for that. Jesse's probably I think he's one of the most underrated coaches that there's been. Ever.
Oh, yeah.
All right, before we go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just remember, today is Royal Badness. So everybody get down.
Oh, man. All right.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.